Live from Waterford and Dungarvan, this is Waterford at 1 News.
Good afternoon, I'm Liz Reddy. Today's top stories. The Finance Minister says the government wants to make progress on the North Quays project in Waterford. The Agriculture Minister has confirmed he'll facilitate new talks aimed at resolving the ongoing beef dispute. As Waterford politicians continuing lobbying for the new divisional Garda headquarters to be located in the city, Minister Paul Whelan says he'll do everything to ensure Kilkenny is chosen. And in sport, the Republic of Ireland lead Group D of European Championship qualifying, entering tonight's tussle with Switzerland. The Minister for Finance, Paschal Donohoe, says the North Quays will be a catalyst for significant development in Waterford. However, he was non-committal on when future government funding for the project will be announced. He's in Waterford today to see the progress made so far under Project Ireland 2040, which plans for the expansion of Waterford City by 50%, increasing the population to over 80,000. The key development is the North Quays project, which will create a new mixed-use extension to the city centre on the north side of the river shore. Work is set to commence by Falcon Real Estate Development by the end of this year. Minister Donohoe says they want to make progress on this.
I want to reaffirm again the commitment that I and the government have to moving forward the North Quays project. This is a project that I know is really important to how we can realise the potential of Waterford City and County and provide alternative employment and investment in a city that I know needs it. I'm briefed on this project on a regular basis by the local authority here, and I'll be working with my colleagues in government to look at how we can continue to support this project, but support it in a sequential and phased way. And we had a good discussion regarding how we can make that happen here today.
Paschal Donohoe says he's engaging with the other ministers ahead of the budget about investment decisions to move projects forward. He recognises that clarity needs to be brought to the North Quays project.
A huge amount of work has actually happened in the background in relation to engaging between your local authority here and the Department of Transport in particular. And I'm taking the message from everybody here that you need to see clarity brought to this. That's understood by me on the back of the meeting I've just had here this morning. And I would hope that soon enough we'll be able to give further clarity regarding how we're going to handle this project.
Minister Donohoe is also visiting the planned South East Greenway, which will link Ferrybank to New Ross, which received €8 million of government funding in June. The Minister is also visiting social housing developments in Waterford City, including Knights Grange in Lacken and a Respond housing development in Kilbarry. Waterford Senator Paddy Coffey says he expects the Fine Gael general election ticket to be finalised in the coming weeks. It's after sitting Fine Gael TD John Deasy announced last month that he's quitting politics. Senator Coffey says Minister Paschal Donohoe will be meeting with members of the party locally this evening.
Minister O'Donoghue has been appointed by the Taoiseach as well to coordinate plans for the next general election, and he will be meeting with Fine Gael Officer Board here in County Waterford. He'll be meeting with elected councillors and indeed the members as well to hear what their views are on the next general election and what the arrangements should be. So I don't think we'll have an announcement this evening of additional candidates, but I would expect that they will finalise the ticket in the coming weeks.
The Agriculture Minister has confirmed that he'll facilitate new talks aimed at resolving the ongoing beef dispute. Michael Creed says that the talks will be held on Monday. In a statement this morning, he said the dispute has the potential to inflict long-term damage on the sector if it continues. Meanwhile, Meat Industry Ireland has welcomed the new round of talks, which are aimed at ending the row over prices. It says that if a process of engagement can now be secured by the Minister, members will defer further legal proceedings. Protests are continuing at a number of factories across the country, including ABP at Ferrybank and Dawn Meats in Granny. ICSA President Edmund Whelan, who's from Waterford, is welcoming Minister Creed's announcement.
All I can say is thank God it's time. It's time we went back into negotiate. There's a lot of farmers want to get cattle away, but we do need to get the talks going again and try and get a better deal for the producers. I think the meat factories have to be there now, not hiding behind Meat Industry Ireland, but also the retailers have to be there, because ultimately they're the ultimate paymasters.
Boris Johnson's brother has resigned as an MP, saying he's torn between family loyalty and the national interest. It's another big blow in a tough week for the British Prime Minister. Our political correspondent Sean Defoe reports.
Last night he lost multiple votes. This morning he lost his brother. Joe Johnson resigned as an MP and minister, saying he was torn between family loyalty to his brother Boris and the national interest. It comes as the laws aimed at blocking a no-deal Brexit look set to pass tomorrow evening. Last night MPs blocked Boris Johnson from holding a snap election. The response from Tories like Chancellor Sajid Javid has been to say that Jeremy Corbyn is running scared.
Labour, unfortunately, they will come up with all sorts of excuses. I think the bottom line is that they are frightened of the British people. We are not. We want to go directly to the British people and ask them who they want to govern this country.
But MP Caroline Noakes, who was sacked as a Tory for voting against the government, says Mr Corbyn is doing the right thing.
I don't think he would be a coward. I think he would be sensible to weigh up all the options, to look very closely at timing. Do we really want to have an election in the immediate run-up to the 31st of October? Is it better to wait until after the 31st of October?
Labour suggested it will support an election once no-deal legislation has fully passed, which means this British Parliament could be dissolved as early as next week. Sean Defoe, Leinster House.
Minister John Paul Whelan says he'll do everything to ensure Kilkenny is the headquarters of the new Garda division. As part of major structural changes within the force, it's proposed to merge the existing Waterford division with Carlow Kilkenny. A decision is set to be imminent on the location of the HQ, with strong lobbying taking place from both Waterford and Kilkenny. One proposal would see the number of superintendents in the new division reduced from 6 to 4. They would also no longer function along geographical lines and instead would focus on specific areas of policing, such as criminal activity. Waterford Fianna Fáil TD Mary Butler says she has grave concerns around the proposal.
None of that information was forthcoming, and I believe that's one of the issues, that there was a complete lack of communication. And we seem to be in a little bit of a vacuum, and I suppose it's always worst case scenario, but definitely I believe there was a lack of meaningful consultation with the likes of the JPC, with the likes of the Gardaí, with the likes of the superintendents.
University Hospital is one of the worst hit hospitals for patients waiting for beds today. Nationally, 504 admitted patients are waiting for beds, according to today's INMO Trolley Watch. University Hospital Limerick has the highest number of patients on trolleys at 66, and the figure in University Hospital Galway is 55 and 43 at University Hospital Waterford.
WLR Sport.
Very good afternoon, I'm Gavin, Whelan. Starting with soccer, and Republic of Ireland manager Mick McCarthy is positive his team can beat Switzerland tonight, but knows that they'll have to be at their best. The teams meet at the Aviva Stadium for their Euro 2020 qualifier. The Republic of Ireland have 10 points to date on the table, and McCarthy's side are unbeaten and top of Group D, and they want to consolidate their place.
I just think if we play to our optimum, we'll have to do, and we'll have to be good with the ball, and I think better without the ball, because they can move it, they've got good players. Yes, of course, I think any team's beatable.
Kick-off at the Aviva Stadium is at 7:45. Elsewhere tonight in Ireland's group, there is also action. In Group D, Gibraltar and Denmark also kicks off at 7:45. Northern Ireland welcome Luxembourg to Windsor Park for a friendly encounter. To rugby, and Wales have made 15 changes ahead of Saturday's final World Cup warm-up game against Ireland at the Aviva Stadium. Captain Alwyn Jones, Lee Halfpenny and George North are among those recalled by Warren Gatland after playing a weakened team in last weekend's 22-17 loss in Cardiff. Ireland head coach Joe Schmidt is also expected to recall his frontline players when he names his side later this afternoon. In Gaelic games, Jerry O'Connor has stepped down as a joint manager of the Clare senior hurling team. He worked alongside Donald Maloney for the last 3 seasons and says he's hoping that Maloney's tenure will be extended. Clare failed to advance from the Munster Senior Hurling Championship round-robin series this summer. Next to news of tennis, and 6-time champion Serena Williams faces Alova Salova in the semi-finals of the US Open tonight. The fifth seed came out on top when they last met at the 2016 Olympics. Robert McIntyre, Max Rotloff and Ben Stowe are joint clubhouse leaders on the opening day of the Porsche European Open in golf. The trio have opened with a 400 par rounds of 68 in Hamburg. Even Cormac Sharvin has shot a 1 over their round of 73, while Michael Hoey has closed 2 over par. To athletics, and the European Masters Track and Field Championships begin in Venice today and last for the next 10 days. West Waterford AC's Joe Goff is competing in 2 events over 65, the 1500 metres and 800 metres over the course of the championships. His main event being the 800 metres next week. He's in action at 2 p.m. this afternoon in the heats of the 1500 metres over 65 and is expected to qualify for Saturday's final. And in racing, Tramore is one of 7 racecourses to benefit from additional fixtures allocated by Horse Racing Ireland to the Irish racing calendar for the 2020 season. The extra meeting next year is scheduled as an evening affair. It'll take place on Wednesday, the 8th of July. Meanwhile, there's racing over the jumps today at Clonmel. The first at the tip track is off there at 4:25. That's the latest on WLR. Our next bulletin is at 2.